pleased and honoured to announce Bob as the winner of the 2016 IVI Global Leader and IT Value Award. He is an outstanding example of how to manage IT as a business and demonstrates strong leadership on delivering and communicating the business value of IT investments. Congratulations, Bob.
Thank you very much, Frank. I'm very honored to accept this award and greatly appreciate your recognition of our efforts here at DTCC to improve information technologies, critical capabilities, and the business value that IT delivers. I regret that my schedule precludes me from being at the summit in person, but I wish you well and am sure that those in attendance will greatly benefit from the insights gained at the joint IVI ICIS CIO Symposium.
So Bob, what has been DTCC's IT focus over the past few years?
Well, Frank, as you look back over I'd say the last 5 years, we've really focused our efforts around modernization and innovation. We have a great track record of IT accomplishments throughout our 40-year history, but we reached a point where due to the change in technology, the change in the organization, the change in the regulatory environments, along with the need to become much more commercial and client-focused, we really needed to make a move in a new direction. So that's what we did. We did things like starting a new global trade repository businesses for OTC derivative trades. We launched a client data business with 5 other banks. So we did many things to enable business growth, and at the same time, we recognized that we needed to do some internal investment within IT to help IT become better on behalf of our clients and our business partners. We launched initiatives such as our IT asset management program, where we now have the ability to track all assets that are operating in our environment. We know what applications are running on those assets, et cetera. That's been a huge benefit for us. We launched a very important and strategic IT cost transparency initiative, where we now have the ability to have much finer grained allocations back to our business partners so they can pull the levers on what they feel they need to do from an infrastructure investment standpoint. Things like our global IT service desk. Around the world, we have 24/7 coverage now. We're doing level 1 and level 2 support out of that service desk, which then frees up the engineers in each of the functional areas to then do engineering work, which is really where the value-added work comes. Along with things like modernizing our network architecture or simplifying that network, and we've done a lot of work to improve our end-user services, our collaboration, the desktop and laptop offerings, the video conferencing capabilities, all have been significantly improved. So we're never done, but we feel we've done a lot of work to really get us to a much different place than we were 5 years ago.
Well, thanks for those insights. And how do you think DTCC came to use ITCMF, and how is it helping you to focus on demonstrating and communicating the business value delivered by IT?
Right. You know, I mentioned the 5-year journey that we've been on, and it was quite an accelerated pace of investment. And when you launch a major program of work like that, there's a lot of energy, and we didn't step back initially and say, well, how are we actually going to demonstrate the value of these investments? So after a couple of years, we realized that we needed to come up with some framework that we could use with our business partners that would allow us to demonstrate what that value of their investments were going to be. And we came upon IVI and the ITCMF framework, and it really fit like a glove for us. You know, the 36 critical capabilities underlying the 4 pillars of managing IT like a business, managing the budget, the critical capabilities, and the value really was a great framework for us to actually apply in our business.
Okay, thanks, Bob. And what are you looking at in the future, both for DTCC and the industry in general?
There's a lot that's happening within the financial services industry and also in the technology realm. Within financial services, the banks continue to be under pressure because of the regulatory environment that exists right now. So there's a lot to deal with on that front as the regs continuously change. They're looking to take costs out of their industry, and in turn they look to a company like DTCC to help them. So I think we see that pattern continuing for quite a while. I think the regulatory pressures are there and will not go away, so we have to learn to operate within the new regulatory environment that exists. regarding technology, it's almost as if the barriers to entry have come down. It used to be that you had to have, a significant investment in order to create the technology that you would need to compete. Now with a credit card and a cloud company, you can instantaneously get access to unbelievable infrastructure and tools needed to develop new applications, and that's what we're seeing. The mobile payments world is exploding, so the ability to disintermediate with the new financial realities and the new technology realities is going to enable quite a bit of competition, we think, going forward. And one of the areas that we think they'll look towards is the post office processing space in which we operate. And it's a very complex, difficult world in which to operate. We think it's highly efficient for how it's been crafted, but it has been crafted by layering things on top of each other as the market structure has changed over time and as the technology has changed. Within DTCC, we've been quite open about it. We're going to move much more towards the cloud, not completely, but we'll take much greater advantage of the cloud going forward. We've laid the groundwork to enable that transformation to happen. We're excited about moving on that journey going forward. And we're also looking, obviously, at things like distributed ledger technology and blockchain. I think how that evolves over the next few years is still to be determined. There's a lot of hype right now. We think we understand why the hype is there. It does have great potential, but taking that potential and putting it into practice are two quite different things.
Okay, thanks, Bob. And any lessons learned? Any key lessons that you've?
Well, a couple, I guess. One is I wish we'd focused on the IT-CMF framework earlier than we did in the process. As I said, we were probably a couple years too late getting in the game. And another thing I would recommend is to try and tie where you're trying to improve your critical capabilities, because you can't attack 36 all at once. You need to pick the ones that are going to be most impactful for your organization and also where you have the best ability to execute and make those improvements. But we started a client experience transformation effort and we created a user experience center of excellence. It would have been better for us to marry up the improvement to that user experience center of excellence with the IT-CMF framework earlier on than we did. We came out in a good place, and now we can measure that in the way we want to. But tying up where you have programs underway with the framework is a good way to go. Two other things I'd say: we really did a nice job, rolling out the framework. I think we had over 100 IT and business professionals assess our capabilities. We didn't score as high as we wanted to on the framework, but we were right in the benchmarks. And the other thing that I found interesting was that the IT people who did the scoring were much harsher critics of our capabilities than the business people.
Yeah, that is really interesting. So any final thoughts you'd like to share with us, Bob?
Well, I would just say that it's been a great journey for us, not only with the investments that we've made around modernizing and innovating our department, our infrastructure, et cetera, but embarking on this IT-CMF journey. I think for us, it's been very beneficial, and for those that look at it, I think you'll find that it encompasses many of the things that IT organizations and leaders need to do to improve how they go about provisioning capabilities to their businesses and their clients.
Good. Well, thank you very much, Bob.
Thank you.
It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you.